Steven Universe and all associated images are property of Cartoon Network, Rebecca Sugar, and any and all other respective owners. I don't know them all. All footage in this video has been used for the purpose of critique parody under fair use. Please support the official release. Okay, so if you guys haven't seen my previous theory video where I talked about what I think are the most likely scenarios for how Rose may have gotten close enough to Pink Diamond to shatter her, I would recommend going and watching that video before continuing with this one. This video doesn't refer back to it too much, but it does refer back to it enough that I think having that other theory fresh in your mind would be beneficial. I hinted heavily but didn't state outright in that video that I consider Rose's most likely accomplice to be Yellow Diamond herself. That Yellow Diamond, for some reason, wanted to see Pink Diamond shattered. That means that subsequently she has been keeping it secret from the other two remaining diamonds for thousands of years. This video is going to explore what I think were her possible reasons. At the end of the day, I think that Yellow's motivations come down to a couple of very simple factors. Simple in concept, at least. I think that Yellow was embarrassed by Pink Diamond, and I think that Yellow wanted to further increase her own power and influence over Homeworld as a whole. And I, of course, intend to elaborate on both of those points. To set the stage, let's talk about what we know about Pink Diamond. It shouldn't take long because we really don't know much. Aside from her basic appearance, all that we really can know about her are things that we can reverse engineer from a few sparse context clues. First of all, let's look at the moon-based murals for each of the diamonds. Each of them shows the diamond in a very abstract design, being orbited by circular shapes that are clearly meant to represent planetoids. Every single one of them has more than two circles orbiting them, except for Pink Diamond. And the two circles above Pink Diamond are scaled to be reminiscent of the Earth and its moon, because we know that the Earth and its natural satellite were Pink Diamond's colony, that she was the head of that colony. This has led the majority of the fan base to agree that these circular shapes are meant to be the planets that each diamond controls specifically, and that the presence of only the two circles in Pink Diamond's mural suggests that the Earth was her only colony, for whatever reason. And of course that doesn't mean that she would be the only diamond involved in the colony, or that she never would have been involved in any other colonies before it. It's clear that the Great Diamond Authority needed the four diamonds to function on model, otherwise there wouldn't have been four diamonds in the first place. So it stands to reason that each individual colony would require some contribution from each of the four diamonds, even if one diamond was overall in charge of each colony. So that means that Pink would have been overall in charge of the Earth. It would have been her first time being in charge of an entire colony herself, but she still would have had experience with colonies, and she still would have had the support of other diamonds should she need it. Regardless for the reason for this, whether Pink Diamond was simply younger than the other diamonds, or her role, whatever it was, didn't guarantee that she would be good at managing a colony, and so her management of one was put off, it doesn't matter in this context. What does matter is that while Pink Diamond definitely would have had experience working on colonies, she wouldn't have had any experience managing one. So already the strict and efficiency-obsessed Yellow Diamond would be watching her carefully, scoffing at every little learning mistake that Pink Diamond made. So it stands to reason that when one of Pink Diamond's own gems, one of her own loyal quartz soldiers, rebelled against her, starting the first rebellion in the history of the Great Diamond Authority, Yellow Diamond would have been embarrassed and she would have been likely very upset. I think that between the rebellion itself, between Pink Diamond allowing the rebellion to take place, and her weak performance early in the war, as we do know that Rose was winning early in the war, got Yellow thinking that maybe Pink Diamond was defective. Maybe she shouldn't be part of the Great Diamond Authority. Maybe she should be destroyed. But assuming that the other diamonds didn't agree, that they didn't feel the same way, it's unlikely that Yellow Diamond ever would have voiced this opinion. Yellow Diamond is the leader of the military, the strategist of Homeworld, the strategist of the Great Diamond Authority, so it would make sense that she wouldn't go around saying things so extreme as, "I think this other diamond should die," unless she knew that she had support. We know that Blue Diamond and Pink Diamond were close. Close enough that Blue Diamond still mourns heavily for Pink's loss even thousands of years later. She would have been more likely to support Pink Diamond in the war, regardless of how many mistakes Pink Diamond made. And we know that White Diamond, even though she did become involved in the war later, is very distant compared to the other diamonds. It's possible that she didn't express any opinion on Pink's performance in the war at all, leaving Yellow Diamond to feel very alone. From her perspective, she would have the answer. Destroying Pink Diamond, just as destroying any other defective gem, would spare Homeworld her poor performance and allow another gem to step in and do the job for her, to do the job that she was failing to do. And the diamonds would have every reason to be deathly afraid of a potential defective diamond, as it would undermine their entire authority. I think that Yellow Diamond saw Pink Diamond as a threat to Homeworld itself, that she saw Pink Diamond's failure to suppress Rose's rebellion as a threat to Homeworld society overall. and decided to take matters into her own hands and at the same time consolidate her own military power so that she could make sure that nothing like this ever happened again. Yes, this would mean that Homeworld would be down one diamond with no guarantee of being able to create another one, but I think Yellow Diamond sees her own leadership abilities as being great enough that she would be able to compensate for the difference. After all, Peridot does firmly believe that Yellow Diamond is the best of the diamonds. If we assume that that's reflective of the attitude that Yellow Diamond likes her followers to have, then it would also make sense that it's reflective of Yellow Diamond's own attitude about herself. But Yellow Diamond knew that without the support of the other diamonds, she couldn't actually take matters into her own hands. She couldn't go and shatter Pink Diamond, lest there be a risk that someone might see her. Then rather than expanding her power base, she would lose it. And how would she protect Homeworld then? And I'm not just throwing random stuff at the wall here to see what sticks. This all fits within the narrative. We know that Yellow Diamond was embarrassed by the Earth colony. We know from multiple episodes and multiple sources that Homeworld society is structured radically differently from how it used to be, and that military technology on Homeworld has come so far that Lapis Lazuli barely even recognized Homeworld as her home when she returned. This all supports the idea that after Pink Diamond's death and the end of the war, Yellow Diamond used her military influence to crack down on Homeworld, tightening the noose even more so than it already was, and began pushing for the development of technologies that would be useful in fighting another rebellion should one ever arise, beginning with the development of the ultimate weapon, a gem capable of cracking a planet in half. I am, of course, talking about the cluster. It was after Pink Diamond's death that the other diamonds decided to abandon the Earth as a colony and instead turn it into an incubator for the cluster. Pink Diamond's death was the inciting incident that led to the cluster's creation. There's no way it wasn't. The timeline just lines up too perfectly. What if Yellow Diamond envisioned the cluster before Pink Diamond's death? What if it's something that she wanted to push for but didn't have the leverage to do so? If the cluster was her endgame and she foresaw that Pink Diamond's death might be able to spark interest in something like the cluster, that Pink Diamond's death might be able to give her the leverage that she needed to create the cluster, as well as the further militarization of Homeworld, which, as Homeworld's military leader, would afford Yellow Diamond more control over Homeworld, then I think it makes sense that she arranged for Pink Diamond's death herself, that she staged that inciting incident. She was embarrassed by Pink Diamond's failure in the war. She was embarrassed by Pink Diamond's failed colony, and Pink Diamond's death would allow her to leverage for more power. While I am about as sure as I can be that it was, at the end of the day, Rose who struck the killing blow, I think Yellow helped her, whether Rose knew about it or not, and therefore Yellow Diamond is just as guilty. Now she has more power than she ever thought that she would, and is, I believe, even allowed to harvest shattered gems for further cluster experiments. After all, should Homeworld ever encounter another planet like Earth, you wouldn't want that sticking around, or else another rebellion might start. That's why Yellow Diamond seems so on edge about this newly rekindled interest in Pink Diamond's death. Why she seems so anxious to get Blue Diamond to move past her grief and just accept that Pink Diamond is dead and forget about the whole thing, because until she does, Blue Diamond's search for the truth threatens to expose Yellow Diamond, to expose what Yellow Diamond did, and that's something that Yellow Diamond simply can't allow to happen. If it did, it would mean likely the best case scenario would be another civil war. And in the end, while I do believe that Yellow Diamond cares about her own power and her own influence and her own interests, at the end of the day, I still believe that she wants to keep Homeworld whole and united. Another civil war is the last thing that she wants. While a lot of this is built on tenuous threads and circumstantial evidence, I do really hope that this theory turns out to be true, because I would love to see how Blue reacts to finding out that it was another Diamond who was responsible for Pink's death, just as much as the rebellious Rose Quartz herself. Knowledge of Yellow Diamond's betrayal will undoubtedly shake up dynamics, and might even lead to Blue Diamond working with the crystal gems, which is something that I have mentioned in a previous video I'd really like to see. But as per usual, guys, I'd like to ask, what do you think of this theory? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.